your ball in the trees and then you live out the park. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. 'Cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to yet another episode of the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, your number one golf podcast in Estonia. So I just want to give a good, massive shout out to our Estonian brothers and sisters for making us number one in your hearts and in your ears. Today we have a very special guest, a couple of very special guests. We have Sean Walsh and Luke Kwon. And in the background, you may be able to see Old Head. This golf course, which we'll get into in a moment, is absolutely unbelievable. But this is also US Open week, so we're going to be covering that with all our expert knowledge
panelists
stuff. Yeah. Like if you want to know about the US Open, there are other podcasts for that. But if you want our opinion, then that's what you're going to get. And with that, welcome down. Luke, Sean, how are we?
Doing pretty good. We played Old Head yesterday, which
did.
was our first time for all of us. We all just could not believe the views out here.
I think we're not going to give any spoilers away. Because this is going to be going out like way before the videos, isn't it? So
yeah, I
correct.
think so. That'd be right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's US Open week now, so it's probably quite soon the videos will be out.
If you are hearing this as well, the disembodied voices, Jacob and Kieran, are producers today.
We're just in the background. We're not going to talk much. We're just going to...
No, you're going to be leading this conversation.
Keep it flowing. We're just going to keep it flowing.
Hey, should we bring up what you said about? Should we bring up what you said about Peter Finch?
No, that's later coming up. Look at let's
Okay.
come on.
We got to
let's
wait till
look-
the US
yeah, we
Open.
got
Pinehurst
wait till
talk.
the US Open
all
chat. for
right,
that.
all right.
Absolutely shocking. So, Kieran, where we starting off? What are we talking
No,
about?
just talking about like how have you found Ireland so far? Obviously, you've had a bit of trouble with your guys. Let you tell the story.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you want to actually explain a little bit about what you boys have been doing? Because this has been in like 2 days. You've traveled to what, like
Yeah. So
10 countries?
we're starting a series called the Ryder Cup series, where we're kind of traveling around Europe and playing a bunch of the Ryder Cup courses. We started off in Italy, Rome, played Marco Simone, beautiful place. Then we went to
Edinburgh.
Gleneagles,
Yep.
Edinburgh, and played Gleneagles, and that was good too. But unfortunately, the greens were a little bit slow. It was kind of wet out there, so not their fault. And then from Edinburgh over to Dublin, our clubs just didn't make on the flight, and so we're driving down to Cork, or really Kinsale down here. So,
Yeah, I mean, I guess we got in nearly 48 hours ago almost. And I think the bags are apparently on their way. They might actually make an appearance mid-pod.
This is, I think, probably going to be quite positive. I mean, personally, I think you both suited a set of QIs from TaylorMade yesterday. Not specifically designed for a good ball striker, but I think you managed to control them really well. In that wind yesterday, I think they're actually a bonus because there was no spin on them.
It was gnarly. And I will say that I don't think that you should be allowed to play from the back tees if you don't have any numbers on your wedges. I will say if there's letters on your wedges, not allowed to play
I
the
still
back
don't
tees.
know what a wedge is.
Yeah.
Attack wedge?
Well, that's what I thought.
What is
But
an attack wedge?
apparently, Jacob said
Approach wedge.
Approach.
that's a
wedge.
way worse name. That's
A 7
that
iron is
cannot
also an
possibly be.
approach club. 7A, 7B.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not surprised that we've lost our clubs. I'm glad it was this flight, because the other flights we would have had no chance. Because the other courses that we're playing, what is it? We're going to K Club after this. What are the few
And
other
then the
ones?
island after
The
it in Dublin.
island.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple in England. I forgot. What are those?
Yeah, we're playing Belfry and Celtic Manor. But then the problem, like you were alluding to, is that if it wasn't the Ireland trip, we're in Ireland for 5 days.
Yeah.
But if it was any other trip, they would just be chasing us across
We're
Europe.
bouncing around all over the place. And honestly, I'm not even surprised that this has happened, because I thought it would happen at one of the flights. So I'm glad it's this one.
Yeah. I
Is it
thought it was
gonna
going to be
be-
the connection. I thought the connection would be the issue.
Yeah, but they are winging their way up from Kinsale. They're in Kinsale right
They're
now.
in Kinsale. So, I mean, I think they got to be within 10 miles of us now.
I think the only issue in Kinsale is there's a lot of places to stop for refreshments. Like the driver could easily pretend to be broken down and just slip into, what was the pub? Kitty
O'Shea's.
O'Shea's. Yeah, it was. We overindulged that first night.
Well, absolutely. But we had
Yeah,
to.
you guys did.
Yeah, when you guys came to meet us,
we were trying to catch up.
I was in struggle. I was in struggle city by the time you guys came. Well, Kieran was like trying to make me try every single Irish stout like ever brewed.
No, but well, obviously like Beamish. So Beamish and Murphy's are both cork stouts. So you got to try them. You know what I mean? Everyone, you can try Guinness anywhere.
It was a proper. He was treating them like a fine red wine. It was like holding them up to the light,
Swirling.
It's like this is Beamish, and it was like taste it. It's like right,
Nodes.
tasted it.
Yeah.
And it's like yeah, taste it. And it's like, do you notice like a more chocolatey finish?
I
was
actually
like-
did notice that.
I was like, Kieran, I'm 7 Guinnesses in here, and you're asking me to try and taste chocolate notes in another stout. It's like, all right, so drink that. He's like, oh well, I know what you need. You need a Murphy's Irish stout because that's different. That's lighter. That's lighter. He actually said the words. That's lighter. Is he put down a jet black stout in front of me? And I think it was at that point that you boys came in, and I was like, "Oh God, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for saving me." But then you started drinking as well, so
Well, yeah. I mean, the text I got 20 minutes out, I informed our group that we'd probably be walking into something that we didn't really know the current situation. But nonetheless, we made an effort to
Oh my
catch
God.
up.
The bags are here.
Told you, mid-pod.
amazing.
Mid-pod. I'm probably getting a call over there on my phone. But Shaler's up there, so he can grab them.
Yeah, the round that we played yesterday, the condition of the course was absolutely incredible, but it was gusting 45, 50, and we decided to play off the back tees.
Well, we had to. We have egos.
I think yesterday, certainly personally for me, was a bit of an ego check.
I
Well, we
might
can't
be
give too
alone on
much away.
this. I might be alone on this, but I kind of want to play the backs again with our clubs.
You are an absolute psychopath.
I know.
Did yesterday literally not teach you any lessons?
Total masochist.
I was fine for most of the holes, and then on the back nine, I just completely fell apart, lost my limbs.
It's
Well-
actually different for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you and Luke went entirely different directions starting on the 15th tee.
Like literally, like literally opposite directions that we were going.
Pete walked that way. Luke walked into the Irish Sea.
Dude, I hit one of the biggest hooks I've ever seen in my life from anyone.
Was that he shafted it? I wasn't.
I don't know what that was.
Like it's that twist face on that QI drive and just sent it.
Yeah.
Like 60
Twisted
yards
it even
left.
further.
I've never seen a shot which somebody hit, and everyone's reaction was like, "Oh, whoops."
Well, the problem was he couldn't backpedal left enough to get out of the way of the tracer, or else he was going to end up off
Oh,
the
yeah, it was
cliff.
going left of me.
We had Charlie and Dylan on the bags, and they were the most positive people all the way around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, despite what they were seeing.
They were
witnessing.
like, "No, that's not very good. You're gonna have to get another ball out, Luke." But it seems you've got your own clubs now.
No excuses.
How about we compromise and we go for the blues?
I'm down.
I think that's fair. And then, obviously, just kind of some of the ones, yeah, like I think there's a couple potential drivable holes if you move it up a little bit more. Like you wanted to hit driver on 2 really bad, so we could maybe potentially move that up.
Okay.
All right, so I'll give that one to you.
I say, well, I'll have a few coffees in a prawn linguine, and we'll
Can't
figure
wait
that
for
out.
that.
Beautiful.
Freaking-
Beautiful.
I mean, despite all the pain you put yourself through yesterday, I mean, quite early on we were already talking about where this golf course ranks in regards to like where you've played.
Yeah.
What would you say at the minute? I know it's hard to.
Well, I kind of saw you put something out yesterday, Luke. So I'll let you crack on with that. I am gonna exclude myself from this discussion a little bit because I've got to be completely honest with you. I don't think it's fair to put that course in any kind of top 5 when, for me, there's nothing like that. I've never seen, I've never played, I've never experienced.
It's its own
something
category.
Like that. Yeah, I think so. Like I've played a few cliff top courses before, but not like that. That was just
Yeah.
on acid.
That actually was great. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like
I can't put it in order though in the top 5. I've always struggled with that. Like I just feel like when you get courses so good and they're in your top 5, and you're picking between 2 and 4, it's like you're picking at straws at this point. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
I think Kieran and I kind of talked about it yesterday, and it's more so instead of like top 5 favorite golf courses, I think we kind of phrased it well, where it's if you have 5 rounds of golf left in your life, where do you go? And what do you play? And I think without a doubt, normally, I don't know. We're very lucky and fortunate to not know what the green fees are out here, but I don't care what they are. If you're a golfer, you got to come play here.
Yeah, I think kind of driving in this morning, because I always struggle to think like what am I going to get my dad?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking like just get him out here, just get him around. Like that's bucket list stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've copped out. So I'm not gonna give you my top 5 list.
I've semi-copped out because I cannot put them in order. They're not in order at all.
Okay, a jingle jangle top 5.
But Old Head, I think, is in there. The only, I don't want to be negative, but the only qualm I have on Old Head is that if you take the views away and just had just strictly course design, it didn't really quite have a bunch of like interesting holes. It was a lot of the views that was just like very like in your face, dramatic, and made the hole just like look that much, or made the hole look so good. But course design wise, I thought it was kind of lacking. But the views were just, like you said, just out of this world. I've never seen anything like it.
I think it's with stuff like that. I kind of understand it, but also you can't separate the two. Like you could say like the 12th, yeah, it's 560-yard par 5, tee set at a bit of a right angle, like a dog leg right to left, but it's over a massive cliff with the waves smashing into the surface,
I
gulls
noticed that
circling.
clip, by the way. Just want to point that out.
That tee shot, if you've not watched this video when it comes out, it is a tee shot which actually made Sean shit his pants halfway through a shot. Like I've actually never seen anything like it.
And I have to wear the same pants today too. So
Like you literally almost fell over. You got mid-swing vertigo.
Oh no, he did fall over.
yeah, I mean it was. I mean, I'm already not particularly a fan of heights myself, but not only was that tee ball absolutely terrifying to me, you know, because how many times do you swing the club and you just fall over 7 yards? Like, I mean, that never happens. But for me, that happened. But the craziest thing too was that I think that I know that we were talking about golf courses like top 5, but I think that walk from that tee box to that fairway might be undeniably the prettiest walk in golf.
There was, for me, like I said before, that there's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it. And like the course design thing, it's like St. Andrews.
I'm gonna disagree with, because I've played courses that have unbelievable views and great course design, even if you took the good views away. Like Jack's Point, I was gonna say Jack's Point in New Zealand, unreal views on the front 9, mountains on the back, and if you took the views away, like it was still a well designed. Everything was placed really well. Bunkers are in play, like interesting greens.
But would you not say like a course like Old Head, it incorporates what the natural landscape is?
Yes, no, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, digger technology is great nowadays, but if you're trying to shift a 200-foot sheer cliff, it's going to be tricky.
Well, especially for our guy.
Yeah. What was the
15th
hole?
tee.
Yeah, on the 15th, I think Dylan was saying that I can't remember the guy's name.
Collins. Is it Collins?
I thought it was an H.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was H. Harley.
Harley.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was driving the digger and doing some excavation on the tee box, and the digger went off the cliff with him in it. He jumped out and survived, and now they call it Harley's Leap, I believe,
Yeah.
because of the fact that this digger is now sat at the bottom.
I just want to hold my hand up and say our research assistant in the back, Sam, has got a card out.
I believe it is Harley's Leap.
Hawley's Leap. Hawley's Leap. So yeah, Hawley was on his tractor, laying the tee. The tractor started to slip, skid, fell over the edge, and as it was rolling down this 50-degree gradient towards the sea, he jumped out.
I have a question. Do we think, because maybe there are other accounts of this happening,
Yeah.
but he did go straight back to the bar and tell the story to all the locals down
Oh
in
yeah,
Kinsale.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you would do.
Is there a potential that what was his name?
Harley.
Holy actually came from the bar late that night. Yeah, had a late night at the bar. Came out to the digger.
So the story's reversed.
Drives the digger off the cliff. Manages to, tumble his way out. then stumbles back to the barn just so he doesn't get into trouble. He just, the ground just came out from underneath me.
I am not here to cast aspersions, but what is the possibility that he's got out of the tractor for a fag break?
Forgot to put
He's left the handbrake off, and the last thing he sees of his tractor is a grinding noise and the dig just disappearing over the edge. And he's like, well, I'm in trouble here.
That's right.
Like,
So how do I not get in trouble?
How can I make myself, get out of this? Why not turn myself into the hero?
That's right. It's a beautiful story. Poor guy. He's going to be listening to this podcast, and he's going to be like, those... I don't even know if I can say the word, but you know what he would want to say.
We exposed him. We've exposed him.
It's like the hard-hitting journalism here from the panel.
All right, let's get back to the top 5.
Yeah, so you got Jack's Point, you got Old Head.
Jack's Point, Old Head. I'm going to put Punta Espada up there. It's in Dominican Republic.
Place was great.
The water, people kept on saying that in my videos I changed the color of the water.
Nope.
It legitimately was that color. I couldn't believe how light blue it was. Also, the conditions of the course was very good. Greens were great, everything.
Yeah.
Peninsula Kingswood in Melbourne. It's lacking in the views department, which I don't know. Views are quite high on my totem pole. I really like having some good views on the course.
I figured this.
But it doesn't have views, but it is so freaking pure, and it has those sandbelt bunkering where it's just the green goes straight into the bunker.
Like the sharp edge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sharp edges.
Such a good look.
Greens just go straight into the bunker. It looks so cool. And then I couldn't think of a fifth, but I think I'm gonna have to put Sahali up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Tall trees everywhere. Probably maybe the narrowest course I've ever played. Sometimes they apparently call it Sahal Way because you are literally just told to hit a shot, and that's all that you can hit.
Yeah.
Because the trees are just blocking everything. Is that 5 right there? Sahali.
I think,
Peninsula,
yeah.
Dominican. Yeah.
Well, I think that just goes to show, your list there, it makes sense why you can't number them 1 to 5, because you're trying to compare Sahali to Punta Espada to Old Head
To Old Head, yeah.
to Peninsula Kingswood.
Yeah.
There's all so drastically different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so, and it is experience based as well.
Mm.
So, some of the courses I've played that are in my top 5 probably might not be in other people's top 5 just because of the day that I had there.
For sure.
Right.
So,
And there's some sentimental value to it, too.
yeah, definitely.
I just love New Zealand, so that's going to add a little bit into there.
There's going to be a little bias.
Yeah, a little
for sure.
bit of bias.
For sure.
Sure, yes.
I think that this is definitely got to be top 5. And kind of I think when Kieran and I were talking about it yesterday about my whole comment about you got five rounds of golf left, that kind of puts a different perspective on things. I think that there's a Discovery Land Co. property down in Cabo called El Dorado. It's fantastic. Margaritas were so.
Golf course related.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. When you said that, 5 courses you got left to play,
Yeah.
I was thinking, well, you could finish here, and my first thought was the Guinness on that balcony afterwards,
Yeah.
just with the sun setting, would be
Wow.
pretty epic.
Mm.
Yeah. Sunset on your final golf round.
I think we might have
It's
a
a little
problem.
dark. Yeah.
Mm.
What's the problem?
I'm thinking about drinkers there.
That's true. I mentioned Guinness with Old Head, margaritas with El Dorado. No, I think I got probably 3 more to round them out. The Country Club at Brookline, I played that in the USAM in 2013 in that place. Just kicked me in the teeth over and over again. But it was absolutely fantastic. And it's and I think as good players, I think that we value a very difficult golf course.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something about that test of golf, never getting that opportunity.
Yeah.
Really. And even to be totally fair, if I got the invite to go play Brookline tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to play the same routing. I might not have the same thoughts and put it so high up on my list.
We appreciate the challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For a fact. Yeah. Because you don't get it all that often. Oh boy. 2 more. I mean, Punta Espada was fantastic. I'm partial to Pinehurst number 2.
Yeah.
Well, to be continued. Is that a good segue? I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, to be honest, I was just thinking that because I think probably Pinehurst number 2 is kind of up there in mine as well, just because of the challenge.
Right.
And just because it was just a pure, this is it, what are you going to do?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no funny business around that golf course. It's just like there's no jankiness. It's here's the shot, hit it.
Hit it.
Yeah,
Hit it or you're in trouble.
right.
Or you missed the green.
Yeah,
And you're panicking.
Well, it's
And
like
you're
a
shooting 100.
classic Donald Ross design where the greens, they are the size they are, but it's really not all of that green you can use because it's all running off on the edges.
Mhm.
So it's like you have like maybe 20% less of that green that you can actually use.
for sure.
Did you, when you guys, the Donald Ross story when you were there, because he used to live by the third green?
We didn't get it.
He used to live by the third green, and he used to sit on his balcony just drinking Bloody Marys. And if he saw people like hitting that green too many times or like scoring too low, he would go out and change the cup from his
Oh,
balcony.
really?
on
He
the
would do it
day.
himself?
Yeah, he'd just go out and change the pin.
It's a great story, that. I love that.
Donald Ross, man, maniac. And that is obviously kind of where we are going this week for where the very best players in the world go for the US Open this week. We have all played it. I think it's fantastic. Has our video gone out from there now? Okay, so we did a video there, and we played off the US Open tees, and I was just trying to break 80, which
Did you?
because I'm an absolute baller, I managed to.
Of course you did.
Bogeyed the last.
Of course you did.
Literally putted it up the last to get a bogey in the dark, pretty much. And yeah, like I said, I just thought it was just an incredible test, like for a very flat golf course. Like, I thought the actual views were fantastic as well. Just it was the way it was shaped through the trees, and yeah, just straight into my top 5. Loved it.
Wow, no doubt, huh?
Yeah, because it's very rare that you play somewhere and it lives up to all your expectations.
Yep.
Because I'd wanted to go there, but not only there, like the whole kind of town and the whole vibe.
Yeah, the town is very cool.
Yeah, and
how many courses there are in there, everything. Yeah.
And it just lived up to everything that I wanted it to be. And also, well, I actually played horrendously, but I just chipped like an absolute maniac. So
You have to.
Well, good thing.
You
yeah.
have to.
yeah, but I hit it so badly because there's no massive danger short of the greens at Pinehurst, and I just hit my iron fat every single time, and I just finished short of every green, and it was fine. I just chipped it up. It was great.
Yeah, better than thin.
Oh,
Anywhere along of those greens. Oh,
good luck.
Well,
boy.
well, we're gonna see because this is one thing I saw because we played it. There was a bit of wetness as well, which is why I was fat and everything because the fairways were bare and. It was but when we were there, like even after the third green, which is it's a little par 4, but at the back there's this huge drop off, and there's some waste area after the green, but there's a gap in the waste area. It's only about, I don't know, about 10 yards wide or something. But if you hit the back of that green, go over it and go through this chute, you will go over that, you'll go past the 5th green or whatever it is, and you'll go down onto the 4th fairway, and you'll keep on running until it's 170 yards away from the green.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if it was intentional. I hope it is, because that's pure psychotic behaviour, which I'm all here for. Just imagine that. Scotty Sheffield just overclubs it.
Yeah.
He's got 100 yards in for his second and 170 yards in for his third.
Yeah. Those two back flags.
Good par.
Yeah. And that hole that it goes down, by the way, the next is a 540-yard par 4.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. I will say, for your viewers, that when you're talking about breaking 80 from the U.S. Open tees, the USGA, as much as they love to inflict pain, will not play it from as far back as you played it, as far back as Luke and I played it.
No?
Because of the fact, because
gotta
they're
move
not
it
going to
up
be
on
1 foot
someone.
off the back box every time, right? I mean, they are going to move the tees around slightly.
Maybe. You never know.
You just won blood.
I do.
I mean, I do too, but I think they're gonna move up a couple of them just to add a little bit of interestingness to it.
I kind of hope not. The thing, because I was on the fence a little bit about the US Open because every major apart from the USPGA has its own identity.
Yes.
You've got Links, you've got the Masters, Augusta, and then you've got the US Open, and it's like we're going to make this as hard as possible. And I was like, well, yeah, maybe not, but I'm all in on it now because I know what to expect, and now I know what Pinehurst could be like, especially if it stays dry.
Oh, my gosh. If it's firm and fast and, dry.
Yeah, I want to, because it's going to be hot and humid as well.
Yeah.
So I want to see sweat. I want to see tears.
I think
I want to see people having a full-on golf breakdown.
that course legitimately just kicks you in the nuts over and over again. Every single hole, you don't get any break. You literally don't get a break.
I kind of think it actually moves around the body. It doesn't just focus on the. It doesn't focus on the lower regions. Like, you know, it'll pinch
Little
your ear.
haymaker in the face.
It'll give your
little
hair a
body-
little tug. Yeah,
Little body
a
shots.
little bit of a wet willy.
Oh God.
If you're not from a certain point, it's nothing rude, really. And just by the end of it, you just like
just works,
exhausted. Because it's also, if you've not seen Pinehurst, hopefully you will see this. It's most of the time it's just fairway then waste. There's not really any rough. They got the greens.
Imagine if there was rough out there.
Oh my god,
Impossible.
oh yeah, you'd be dead. Like,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like the whole challenge of it. You got to draw it, you got to fade it, you got to spin it, you got to run it, you got to do everything. It's like a complete examination. So, I mean, if they get it around level par, I think that's probably what's going to win.
I think you have to land it in just the right spots over and over again on these greens.
Yep.
What are you guys' picks for the US Open?
Are we excluding Scotty?
I feel like Scotty's a cop out. So
That was gonna be my cop-out
so
answer.
who's finishing second?
It's like excluding Old Head from a top 5 list.
And
it's like obvious.
just the premise as well. Give like a wild card as well.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
if you were, an outside pick as well, for you guys.
So it's got to be someone. I think if it is dry, it's probably going to bring a few more people in because
Yeah.
you get it chasing down those fairways.
Mm.
I don't know. I kind of think an old head might, as in an old head on a golfer.
Yes,
Not
not
in-
the location that
not
we're
in
at. Yes.
So like, it's a bit of a wild card, bit of an outsider. I like kind of Justin Rose, someone like that. Just a plodder, can like think his way around a golf course.
And he's
Going
been
with your
playing
fellow
nice.
Englishman.
He's kind of American now, isn't he?
You've disowned him.
He's been over here for. It's not like he's slogging it out in November.
What about Paul Casey?
No, I think he's Bohemian. I'm pretty sure he just hangs out at Albany all winter long. So.
There you go. Exactly.
What about Paul Casey?
He can't play in these anymore. Is he? He can't be exempt now, can
Well, but is he
think so.
English?
he? It's on the borderline.
Wow.
Any time. I mean, it depends. Like if it's a Ryder Cup, then yeah, obviously. But it depends. Like as soon as you get to the stage where you get like that hybrid accent,
Yeah.
where you just like talk normally and then like you slip and like a little bit of, and then you drop back out. That's when it starts to get a bit borderline. It starts to get a bit controversial.
All right, so wild card, you have Justin Rose.
Yeah, a wild card Justin Rose, and I think for my main pick, I'm sick of picking Rory because it's just too much heartbreak.
Yeah.
It just
No.
hurts too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Morikawa because he's playing some great golf, and it seems to me like his kind of golf course.
Yeah. I like that pick. With
I'm cheating right now.
the exception of, I know in the past he has struggled chipping on Bermuda, and at some point you are going to have to hit that one pitch shot. That one. Not crapping on your pick at all, but because that went through my brain when I was asked like who we got, and that is my only reservation. He's the perfect player for Pinehurst, with the exception of pitching around there is a nightmare already for anybody.
But I mean, it was okay for me, and I'm a terrible golfer.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. You're a tremendous slouch.
Who is more of a wild card pick, Ludwig Aubert or Bryson DeChambeau?
I mean, how do you not? I mean,
I mean,
Bryce is a great pick right now.
yeah,
I think.
like he's a legitimate.
I
pick.
just think
Yeah.
Bryson with his length and him having shorter clubs in, having more room for error with those shorter clubs in, probably a decent pick.
And I think he's a great pitcher of the ball. Yeah,
Underrated pitcher of the ball.
underrated.
So.
Mhm.
And then Ludwig, I just think, I just looked up stats. That's why I said I'm cheating. But he's like second on proximity to the hole approach.
Nice.
Number one is obviously Scotty. So
Yeah.
Like, Ludwig's unreal.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good. I know he
Yeah.
had a bit of an injury early in
I was
the
gonna
year.
say, is he
but-
hurt? Like, what's the whole thing with that? Because did he miss? I think he missed the cut of the PGA, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know if it's possible for an Android to get hurt, but like maybe just short circuited a little bit. I'm sure he's been in the repair shop and he's got himself sorted.
he's got a virus.
software.
Run that
He's got a software
McAfee,
glitch.
McAfee virus-free software on it.
He's still running the free version. He can afford to upgrade now. Like he can afford to get a VPN installed. Like he shouldn't be struggling.
a VPN.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that so he works better in America?
Yeah. So he can go anywhere in the world and still perform the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Big shout out to our friends at Nord.
You guys talk about like really good pitches, like people who are leading. I think in the PGA Tour at the minute is like people like Jason Day, Hideki. Like,
Yeah.
you get like say you speak about around the greens. Do you think that approach play is like the next thing they need to be good at, or
At
it's
Pinehurst.
just going to test everything? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be one of the only major courses that actually takes driver, like, it's probably going to be least weighted on driving off the
think I would
tee.
agree.
And because I think Pinehurst brings in Brian Harmon, for example. I think that it plays a little bit more like a links course in a way that, I guess, like, Brian Harmon's going to be hitting drives that are 320, 330 because of if it's playing firm and fast. Like
I
you
just
talked
don't
about.
think it's as penalizing if you don't hit a good driver out there because you're not in 3 feet tall rough. Okay,
Yeah.
5 inches rough. Like,
Yeah.
it's still like you're okay.
You've hit a bad shot if you're 3 foot rough. I think with
Brian Holm will get lost in 3 feet.
yeah, it's like I say, it all depends if it rains. Because if it rains, then Bryson, Rory, great, they're going to be bringing in because it's going to stop where they pitch on the fairway.
Well, I will say, though, that place probably drains better than any other place ever. So, I mean, obviously, summertime in the Carolinas, you'll get kind of the pop-up thunderstorms and things like that. But for the most part, I think it'll probably still be pretty firm and fast. I mean, even, excluding the random, you get 2 or 3 straight days of rain or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, I think Bryson's a great pick. I mean, yeah, pitchers of the ball. I mean, I think that Jason Day's a great pick. He's been playing. It seems like every event he's played recently, he's kind of been in there.
He's starting to show some form right now.
He is.
He's been like fine.
Yeah,
He's been like
Yeah.
hovering. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's not actually kind of. He doesn't seem to have threatened much, but
Right. Yeah.
he's
So.
definitely playing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think Bryson's a great pick. Yeah. I'd probably say Jason Day would probably qualify as a dark horse. I would say a little sleeper.
Probably, yeah.
yeah, I think
You
so.
think so?
Yeah.
Like a
Top 15 in the world, probably.
yeah, like-
qualifies as a sleeper.
Yeah, like a semi dark horse,
Okay. Fair
like
enough.
like a in the shadow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like he's not fully in the night. He's like
Yeah.
just in the fog.
That's fair enough.
But you
Did
can
Harry
still-
Higgs
you can
qualify
still
for the
see
U.S. Open? Because I would probably pick him.
He'll
too.
win it in playoffs with an eagle. He's just like not stopped.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna rest on Bryson and Jason. Those are probably my 2 picks.
Okay, cool.
Old heads.
Old heads.
Old heads.
Old head shoulders.
Bryson.
However, our first pick is obviously Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, he's winning.
So,
So,
yeah,
we're
he's
just
winning.
picking second.
So
place.
all that conversation that we just had is completely pointless because Scotty's going to win it by 6 shots. So just replace winner with like second place.
I just think he's so good into the greens.
He's just
and you have to be out there.
Yeah. What do you guys think the winning score is?
Oh man.
I'm going to say level. Yeah.
Yeah, part of this requires you to be like a weatherman forecaster and know
Little bit.
what the weather's gonna be. But
Right.
I'm gonna say 6 under.
I think that's a good number. I was gonna say like somewhere in between, like 4.
Mm.
I think because I think last time Martin ran away with it. Didn't he shoot 10? I think it was like 10, 2 under.
Yeah, 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
But-
Yeah, but he won by 8. or
So-
something.
Oh yeah.
Pull it up,
It was-
Jamie.
It was 2 players were under par, I think.
I want to say he was
Pull it up,
the
Jamie.
only player in history to shoot 2 scores under 70 at Pinehurst.
I saw that.
consecutively.
I told you about this the other day. There's a stat on hole 16, the last time they played, Pinehurst number 2, hole 16. 4.5% of the field hit the green.
That's wild.
But when we played it, we got onto the tee, and admittedly, I was struggling at this point, like emotionally. I'd been hit a lot, The ref hadn't counted me out, and I kept getting to my feet and just kept getting punched. And we got to 16. It's like a 540-yard par 4 that requires like a slinging draw around the corner, and I wasn't hitting a draw at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why? What's the point? So I sprayed it right, like hit it onto the par 3, like managed to pitch it onto the green, I think. And then like solid 2 put for a par in my head because it was a par 5. Ridiculous. ridiculous.
Oh man, yeah. I mean that 16th hole, and it's really like you. I think Luke had said, or it's just relentless. It's like it. I will say that the first 5 holes are your scoring holes.
They're not that bad. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not that. You think they're bad until you compare them to the last 13. It's like, and it's like then you're like, no, that was actually not that bad.
Welcome to the real nut kicking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the first is definitely like
Just a warm up.
yeah, it's just like a little pat on the back saying, welcome to Pinehurst.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're gonna have a great time.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's like someone outside a shop front like trying to like pull you in,
That's right.
or like someone outside a restaurant like offering free naan bread out,
the
something
bouncer?
like that.
First hole's the bouncer.
Yeah. Oh no, you go in. You go
It's
into
the opposite of bouncer.
you
never
go
mind.
into a bar. You said, here's a free shot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love it here.
Yeah.
And then you have your free shot, and then they give you another drink. You're like, this is really nice.
Yeah.
And then you go back for the third drink, and you get like a beer, and they say that'll be $28, please. And you're like, well, no, that's fine. I'm gonna go. He said, no, you can't leave.
But that's the thing. Yeah, you're not allowed to leave.
You got to
And
stay here
it's-
for another 16 rounds.
And it's 100 proof, so you're just done.
Yeah.
After that drink, you're more
then-
and more done.
And you try and check out. You've fallen off the bar stool, and the bouncer comes and picks you back up and props you against the bar. Says you will keep going.
At this point, they're just shoving it down your
They just
throat.
got like an IV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They funneled it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, what have we... what has it turned into?
Pinehurst number 2 is wild.
Yeah, it's listen, it's tough. It's tough out there.
I'll move on a little bit and just say, like, I've got 2 questions for you. One, like, we're going to be a weatherman and say that it's baked out, it's dry as anything. What do you reckon you guys would shoot in those conditions? And secondly, what would be like, talking about qualifying for like the US Open, would there be any potential for you guys to think about that in the future?
I want to start by asking you what you think we would shoot
Yeah.
at Pinehurst number 2 if it's
Kieran.
baked out.
What do you
Here
think
we
we'd
go.
shoot?
No, I don't want to, like, I said my prediction. It's a very long story, and we haven't got long left in terms of the podcast.
No, you're good.
But I just said that if Pete played it with his, obviously now Pete's playing the best he's ever played. Well, certainly I've ever seen. But in March,
Excluding yesterday.
in March, he would you admit that it wasn't your best game. So with his game being in March, playing the US Open course. At that time, would he break 100? That's what I said.
That-
I don't think
no,
you
no.
said
Let's
you did
premise
not.
this.
That was not a question.
You said-
did
you
not
said
say
he would
would he
not.
break
No,
it.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
And
I
it-
kind of did.
and it-
I kind of did.
and it
But,
wasn't 100. It was like
I did have, like,
120.
I did have like 9 pints of Guinness at
Yeah.
this point. So
That's
it,
true.
wa-
That's
it,
fair.
it was like we got into this discussion, and we're gonna say because we've got time. And Kieran was just like,
trying to get
he's
out
like,
of it.
Nah. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Like, you won't break 120. You were rubbish. How dare you even talk about breaking 80? I was like, we're not that bad. And then he rounded on you guys, and he was like, yeah, even you, no, not a chance. I'm like, all right, it's a bit harsh. Like, it's fine. I think Luke, you turned around and said, like, 120 is a lot of shots.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. He's
It
like,
is a
nah,
lot.
you didn't see him play.
I just had a spice bag at this point, 9 pints, and it all comes out of me.
Again, for people not aware, spice bag is a type of food.
For your friends in Estonia. So
Yes, exactly. If you go get a bag of spice off some street corners, you're not going to be very pleased with the result. Or maybe you will. So I think, like, US Open conditions.
Yeah, like baked out.
Yeah. Like mid-low 80s.
well, I guess there probably should be tiers. It's like
Yeah.
if you play well, if you play okay, if you play bad. Like maybe 3, like kind of give like a little bit of a...
Okay. I think play well, hopefully breaking 80.
Yeah.
Play poorly. Play okay, yeah, mid to low 80s. Play poorly, up towards 90.
Yeah.
I think he's somewhere between 79 and 90 is probably a good range.
Like that's the dispersion there.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. What do you think, Lucas?
I think if I play well, I'd probably shoot 3 over par.
Yeah.
Like playing really well.
Yeah.
And I think okay-ish, kind of bad-ish day. I'm not sure if I feel like I'm going to shoot like 85 out there,
I was gonna say, like,
honestly.
if you're having a bad day around the greens, it could creep up into the
I
mid 80s
mean,
pretty fast.
You get a couple holes where you have double chips because you hit it
Right.
off the other side of the green, which is very easy to do.
Yeah.
And now it starts getting in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's kind of like creeps into your approach shots too, because it's like you don't want to miss a green because you're going to potentially double chip again.
Right.
It
Like-
can spread.
Like I say, it depends on around the greens as well. If it's wet with that Bermuda,
Ooh,
oh,
that's a good point.
That,
That's a good point
that
too.
would stink.
Well, then
Yeah.
you can double chip just because it's wet.
Yeah,
You can't even get it on the green.
You've just hit
Yeah.
it twice.
Yeah.
But you can do that now. So you like duff it and then thin it at the same time. We're like, oh, let's
And then
trundle
gets
it
on
up
the
there.
green. Yeah.
It's actually
will
the way
say-
to play it.
And the thing about on there too is that they do a great job of the way that they mow the grass. The grain is always into you, so it's not easy to putt either. Everybody's like, "Oh, why didn't he just putt it?" It's like because that's not easy either.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's not a lot of reprieve. I think it's probably gonna. I mean, I'm probably from a scoring perspective, I'm probably in a very similar boat to Luke. I mean, I think that we probably would have to have a day to shoot under par. I'd probably say, right?
Do you think if you're really clicking, you would shoot even par out there or break even?
What conditions are we talking? Are we talking in US Open?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
US
Open.
Open
As
conditions,
in
like
you're playing in the US Open.
Yeah.
well, you play it on the Monday, for example. You play it on
Oh,
the Monday,
well,
Sunday pins,
That's maybe a bit different.
and it's been baked out. Like we're treating it as a hard course.
I mean, I would like to think that if I'm playing my best golf, that I could probably shoot even or maybe even shoot under par. But that involves me kind of like hitting very, very good iron shots like that, because that's kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And
I think-
if I'm pitching a lot, I'm done.
I think it depends as well. Like if it's like the Monday after and you relax, you're having a nice time, then that's a bit more possible. If you've qualified in
You're
and
not
you're there
rel-
on Thursday and you're absolutely crapping your pants,
No, you're not relaxed at all. You got the cameras on you.
Yeah.
YouTube videos.
so you triple the first, which is like the easiest hole, then yeah, you're gonna be up against it.
Well, we'd likely film. You'd film the Monday
Yeah.
video, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
there
so
is a
you're-
bit of
so
pressure.
you're still
not
kinda
with, you're not
crapping
with
your
like your
pants a little
buddies,
bit. Yeah.
Not with my buddies.
Well, no, like,
What are you trying to say?
You know what I mean? Like if it's just on our own.
See,
Wow.
honestly, Kieran is all business right now.
Just saying.
Kieran's about to get fired.
I've been very hard on him recently. I must say. I'm very
Honestly, this trip, he's been on my back, like all the time. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I've done to upset him. Oh man, so I think, I mean, for me, I thought it was incredibly hard. I think if you're a handicap golfer there and you play in these conditions, you'd be having a great time. The only thing I'd say is, when did you guys play it last?
So we did a trip in November.
November.
Yeah. So we kind of had it. I guess it probably a similar firmness. Just with a little bit. The Bermuda was a little dormant, but and the greens were very good, relatively firm,
Pretty fast.
and pretty fast.
Yeah.
I would say the only difference probably for us would have been will obviously be a little warmer for the U.S. Open. Ball might go a little bit further, but greens were probably a touch softer
Yeah.
than when we went
Yeah.
for the U.S. Open.
I think the only thing I found was like the redesign. They put in the waist areas that grass.
Yes.
And it was like in clumps, wasn't it? Very
Yes,
small clumps.
exactly. So you can get kind of unlucky or lucky.
Yeah, I kind of thought that every shot, and I hit a few in there. Every shot that I hit in there, when it hit one of those, it just bounced off. Like it never went in.
Oh, interesting.
And it kind of like just found a little bit of like space.
Yeah.
To be fair, now that I think about it, I was never in one of those little clumps either.
Yeah. So maybe that's one thing which will be of a benefit to the players. Like if they're not going to get stuck in them, because at least they can come out sideways.
Well, but if you think about it, the last time they played the U.S. Open there was, I think, just probably 4 or 5 years after, and that the one complaint leading up to it, I remember, was like, oh man, the waist areas they had just planted all the little grass,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh well, they're so bare that it's going to be easy or whatever. 2 guys shot under par.
Yeah.
So now that there's actually more stuff in the waist area,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
I-
Like, right?
I think it's the greens. The greens are the ones going
For sure.
Yeah.
make or break it.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your conclusive break.
And then about the qualifying for the US Open, is that like ever on your mind at
I
all?
signed up for the qualifier this year as a just in case thing, and I was in Korea, and I just didn't really care. I just didn't want to. I just wanted to chill in Korea.
It's hard to play it from Korea.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're going to jump on a simulator.
I honestly just didn't really care, but maybe I'll do it next year.
Was this a case of like the announcer coming on the team, like on the tee, Luke Kwon, and then everyone's looking around like,
It might have been.
Yeah, I didn't withdraw either, so it was just a no show.
Via Zoom call.
FaceTime audio.
hold you up to the mic? Yeah, I'm not gonna make it.
I'm in a different time zone right now.
That's funny. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, for me, I tried at locals this year and I missed it by a few. Just made 9 pars in the front and then did not play that great on the back, so just kind of stuck in neutral a little bit. But definitely US Open locals every year. It's always fun to play. I mean, I know Luke and I, in the same way Pete probably, we have a bunch of buddies, go to sectionals, and get through and stuff like that. It's always really cool to follow them and stuff. But that's the thing about golf, like, it's such a tight-knit community that, like, you see your buddies playing well and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, man, well,
I could do the same thing.
I know.
Yeah.
So it just that carrot is always dangling in front of your face, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, open qualifying, any open qualifying is always good. It's always fun to do. I think, like, the Open, the Open Championship qualifying, not US Open, the Open Championship. Now it's, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but even if you get through regionals now, because of the live exodus, like all the live players will automatically get through to finals.
Oh, I see.
So I think last
Wait, how many stages are there for Open?
just 2, so you get through regionals,
so it's
then you've got
regionals
final.
and then final.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, final, there's like 3 places available from each qualifier at finals, but
3?
yeah, like pretty much every I think it was at Cinque Ports, wasn't it? Where it was like Brandon Grace, Charles Schwartzel, like Oosthuizen, like qualifies for it.
Just live guys.
Yeah, so just imagine like you've managed to like scrap it round in like 1 under through kind of regionals. You've managed to scrape through. You're like, a good couple of rounds, get it together. Come on. They turned up at West Lancs, and who was there? Sergio Gossett. Like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a small qualifying field for.
Yeah.
US Open sectionals is like what 8, 10 people. It depends on the
Yeah.
site.
So normally, I think that like some of the sites will have like 50-ish people, and that'll be like 3 spots, and then other ones kind of around like the PGA Tour sites, like on the Mondays, like after a PGA Tour event or something, like we'll have like 110, but for like 8. Yeah. So
Maybe we need to switch. Do US Open.
there you go.
Obviously
2025 quest for the parentheses US Open.
Yeah, because obviously, like, they do have qualifying in the UK, don't they?
Yeah,
'Cause it was
Walton Heath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
the sectional site.
How'd you get into that?
I've got a feeling
It's
that's
like a DP World Tour.
Yeah,
event, that. It's-
it's
Yes,
like a
that is.
tour exemption to get through to it. Like you can't rock up.
Yeah.
You can't just like knock on the gate.
Right.
Say, hey,
You can have a go.
I think.
I'm Pete Finch.
Do you mind? I see you got 2 ball. I can make up a 3. Just let me throw them out into the ring.
Just need a marker.
I got this. You know what I mean? Don't worry about me. Yeah, I could do that.
Just don't watch the old head video. I promise I'm good.
Oh. Well, saying that, because we got 2 videos from here. So we had the YouTube Irish Championship yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the YouTube Irish Invitational today. Gonna have to come up with a good name for it.
That's right. Yep.
The Lobster Linguini Trophy.
Oh,
Sponsored by. How about that? How about we have the YouTube Championship at Old Head, sponsored by Lobster Linguini.
I mean, Sean,
title sponsor.
No,
oh,
not sponsored. Fueled.
Fueled by.
Fueled
That's-
by.
There you go. I like that.
Sean, you must have had more incentive to want to qualify going back to somewhere that you've won.
Oh yeah, and Pinehurst. Yeah, for sure. Again, kind of going back 30 minutes or so. Pinehurst obviously kind of has a special place in my heart,
Yeah.
and I think that, playing.
Wait, why does it?
Why does it? Oh, I guess I have to say that. In 2015, they have a pretty big amateur tournament there called the North and South Amateur Championship. It's been around probably for like 100 years now, and I just happened to win it. and it was a really cool event. Though it was 3 days stroke play, then cut to the top 16, and then match play. And so I tell everybody, I think the entry fee was $200. I played Pinehurst #2. Let's see, 4 rounds of match play, eight times in 6 days or whatever for $200. It's about the best deal out there.
Yeah.
That is one of the, if you are like a junior and you are like a good young golfer and you are like trying to get better, enter these opens, because like you might never ever get the chance to like play in these events again. Like like you said, like 200 quid 3 rounds at #2. Was it the what was it, the one at Birkdale? Like it's the same. It's like 3 rounds of Birkdale. You can enter for like 80 quid.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was when I was a junior. It's nothing.
Right. Yeah, that's so wild. And I think you guys do a very good job of that over here in Europe as far as getting juniors on really good golf courses, like championship golf courses.
Well, we have so many.
You have so many.
Yeah.
We have so many.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Okay.
spoiled.
Like North Berwick.
Oh,
North Brunswick.
North Brunswick. Yeah, when's the Scotland trip going to be coming back? You need to
What?
You need to get to Scotland. You need to do North Berwick. You need to actually do some links courses.
Yeah, we talked about doing
And
a
open
series
your mind.
where it's like, can I find love? AKA, can I find a links course that I love? Because hot take, I don't really like links courses. I don't think they're all that great. But maybe I'll find one. Do a little Scotland trip.
The thumbnail will just be you like holding a rose, like
Yeah.
in The Bachelor. It's just
I think just like on every thumbnail, like just give an indication of where you're at. Just like thumbs up, middle, or thumbs down, like Roman Emperor style. Just like down, Brunswick.
I just don't think they look all that great.
It's all about the aesthetics, isn't it?
It's not all of it, but it's a good portion of it.
views are way up on his
Yeah.
totem
Yeah.
pole. Quote.
A good portion of it is views.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe.
Yeah.
Nothing
But
wrong,
also,
nothing wrong with that.
like, my thing is that like golf has enough luck involved as is, and I feel like links golf involves even more luck. I know it's a bad take. I get it. I want to find one where I like it.
Okay, so if anybody is watching or listening this who happens to know a dead flat, nicely viewed, fair, windless links course,
Wait, it doesn't have to be dead flat.
but fair slopes.
But there just can't be any blind shots.
Blind shots.
without
kind of
blind
annoying.
shots, and the slopes have to be uniform, visible, and marker post free, and we're good.
What did you say? What was the last one?
Marker post. Or do you say you're not supposed
Oh.
about blind shots?
I think blind shots are just kind of annoying.
There you go.
But
I mean, I agree with you on that one. But okay, so if anybody knows anything like that, let us know.
put it down in the comments.
Yeah. If you can email Luke on Luke at
Luke at luke.luke.
or message him on. I mean, what else? Is there anything else before we?
Well, you kind of was touching on there, just like the about sort of YouTube stuff. Like obviously leaving GoodGood. Like, how's it been after? That was kind of our last thing.
The biggest thing is just freedom of time, honestly. Like, I just spent like 2 weeks in Korea just hanging out, not even touching a club, just chilling. And I couldn't do that when I was with GoodGood because I was either on my trips and then I was on a GoodGood trip, and then I was on my trip and I was like barely ever at home. And me and Sean had already kind of planned out a decent amount of 2024, like this trip, Canada trip. We got Switzerland coming up. It's like I just feel like there's just so much more time freedom now. Other than that, though, it's the same thing. Like just kind of making more videos, same old, traveling the world.
It does kind of feel like that you guys have. That is something which you're actually like genuinely like passionate about. The actual travel aspect
Oh yeah,
of it.
yeah. I think Sean agrees that like we don't mind the travel at all. Like I've been flying to Australia and New Zealand and up to Korea. And
Yeah, you're like
over here.
American Airlines triple executive concierge key platinum.
I don't mind it.
When you enter airports now, do they wave to you? Do they know you by sight at this point?
Yeah, they have that sign. The cashier, not the cashier. What are those check-in people?
Yeah, exactly.
Has it gone past Mr. Kwon? Is it now just Luke? Hey, Luke, over here. We've got you in the back door, mate.
First name basis.
That's right. It's like check-in. It's like main cabin, premium economy, first class. Luke Kwon.
Kwon class.
That's like Kwon class.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
A little bit.
No. No.
Oh, man. You going to Switzerland, did you say?
Yeah, Sean's planned the Switzerland trip.
Yeah, I think
August?
August, and we're kind of staying. I think we're flying into Zurich, heading over kind of like St. Moritz. I'm probably butchering that. Sorry to all your
Moritz, I think.
Swiss Moritz.
It's okay. They're not Estonian.
That's true.
You can't
exactly.
offend the
Yeah,
Estonians.
honestly, we're really low in the Swiss franc.
Oh, really?
Say what-
Okay,
say
so
what
I'm
you
not going to piss that many people off.
No, no.
Okay, perfect.
No.
And
Say
then
how bad their chocolate is.
That's
They love that.
Oh my
It's not
God.
really, by the way.
Have you been to
It
Switzerland?
sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Good.
I've only played Kwon. Are you playing?
That's
Kwon,
where we're
I'm
yeah.
guessing?
Yeah, we're finishing up with that one.
That's that might be a classic setting via design course.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the setting is it's just unbelievable. Like,
Right.
yeah, it feels like you're in the center of the world, but
Oh, yes.
it's the
Design's fine.
design's fine. But again, it doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
the design there does not matter because you hardly ever look at the course. You're
Right.
just looking around you,
Well,
wondering well, what is going on
Is
here.
that, is, that
Right.
where, is that where Ludwig won?
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's just a few holes on there that you play, and you're like wow, like the when you see the ball just go up and into the mountains, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be a cool one. I mean, I think just to full circle this conversation, I think that there would probably be a little bit of like, Jack Nicklaus will come out here, and if you want to make a good golf course, like, you probably have to make a decision between designing a absolute fantastic championship style golf course and incorporating a lot of the views. And I think that people, when they get a piece of property like this, probably have to like walk that line a little bit more. And you probably end up being like, hey, look, what did the people really come here for? They came to look at the water. It's hard to get that mix. There's not a lot of places that can do it.
I mean, if you're gonna watch, obviously, hopefully you watch both videos that we're gonna make from here. I was thinking it yesterday. It was Jack and like the other designers. I do just get the feeling that they were designing it, and at some point they just said,
Doesn't matter.
"Screw it,
Doesn't matter.
let's literally hang this tee on the edge of a 300-foot cliff,
Right.
Yeah.
and see what happens."
I think we did the math. I think 10 of the holes were on the water. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, probably can't quite see it with the camera angles there. Like, the 18th tee is literally hanging off the edge of a lighthouse.
We're basically hitting
is.
golf balls
Confirmed.
as like mountain goats.
Yeah.
We're just like on the side of a cliff.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, it's one of the most spectacular places that we've ever been. So please make sure you watch these videos. Other than that, I think we'll exit from your ears for another week. Hopefully you enjoy the US Open, where we would all break 80. 100%. Sean and Luke, thanks for coming on. Thanks for having this chat
Thanks
with
for
us.
having us.
Hear your
Yes,
dulcet tones
absolutely.
has been a real highlight of my week.
I feel honored. I've seen your Google calendars.
Did you see your name?
No.
Like a
Oh,
little,
actually, I did.
little star by it?
No.
No.
It was a different color.
It was lower on the priority list.
Yeah, that's true. It was on my Microsoft calendar. Right, guys. We are going to see you later. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not. Make sure you check these guys out as well. We'll leave everything in the description below. Enjoy your drive. Enjoy your day. Enjoy whatever the hell you're doing. And we will see you next time.
Go play Old Head.
Enjoy your shower. I see you naked.
There you go.
Again.